What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Blackbird Cryptocurrency. We're currently sitting at a market cap of $443 million. So we're still fighting against the bear, but Bitcoin dominance is at a cool 40%. So it's good to see Bitcoin reclaiming its position as the top dog. So let's discuss today's news. So I wanted to talk about cryptocurrency and our elected representatives. Just recently, you all may remember there was a Senate hearing with the SEC and the CTFC chairs, and everyone was really optimistic about what they had to say, and the news seemed to be mostly bullish. However, what I have noticed is that we aren't really paying a lot of attention to our elected representatives. And these are the people we vote in, and these are the people who literally write the law of the land. So I think we should probably be paying a closer look to these Senate members and congresspersons. All right, so let's go ahead and go through this story and discuss it some. Congress sets sights on federal cryptocurrency rules. Jolted by the global investment craze over Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, U.S. lawmakers are moving to consider new rules that could impose stricter federal oversight on the emerging market class, several top lawmakers told Reuters. Bipartisan momentum is growing in the Senate and House of Representatives for action to address the risk posed by virtual currencies to investors and the financial system. I want you to keep that in mind as I read through this. They said, even free market Republican conservatives, normally wary of government red tape, said regulation could be needed if cryptocurrencies threaten the U.S. economy. Quote, there's no question about the fact that there is a need for a regulatory framework, said Republican Senator Mike Rounds, a Senate Banking Committee member. Digital assets currently fall into the jurisdictional gray area between the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the Treasury Department, and the Federal Reserve in individual states. Much of the concern on Capitol Hill is focused on speculative trading and investing in cryptocurrencies, leading some lawmakers to push for digital assets to be regulated as securities and subject to the SEC's investor protection rules. The SEC is properly the lead on the issue, said Republican Representative Bill Huizenga, chairman of the House Financial Services Subcommittee on Capital Markets, which will hold hearings on the issue in coming weeks. Huizenga said the recent growth of the virtual currency market had made him more comfortable with more oversight. Quote, 6 months ago, we didn't see this explosion. The marketplace has changed, he said. Carol Maloney, a Democratic senior member of the House Financial Services Committee, is another lawmaker advocating for direct oversight of digital assets by the SEC. And the story goes on, alarm bells, they discuss the volatility and all of the bad stuff you would expect to hear about cryptocurrencies, from terrorist financing, money laundering, yada yada, you know. So I want to focus on a couple of things that I think are troubling, and I want to put them in a different perspective. So one of the main concerns is that cryptocurrency threatens the U.S. economy. Now, here's the interesting thing. Aren't crypto investors in the United States the very fabric of the U.S. economy? So if your average, Jane Doe, John Doe is getting rich, or rather transferring wealth into their pocket, much needed wealth, especially considering the wealth that has been robbed from them for the last decade or so, with 0% interest rates in the bank, wages that are not growing, and jobs that are leaving the country every day. So, what does this threaten? Well, this threatens the traditional financial system, but it does not threaten the US economy if we imagine that the US economy is made up of the people. So while we may see banks like Bank of America or Goldman Sachs, though they've wised up and they recently bought Poloniex, for those of you who have not heard, or Chase Bank, who has called cryptocurrency a threat to their bottom line, crypto does not serve as a threat to the US economy as a whole. Rather, it serves as a threat to the political institutions which are built upon a power structure of centralized control and greed. And what's particularly troubling about this is the potential angle that they could take. So some of you, actually many of you, have probably been following the Russia investigation, and it's something that is hard to avoid on the daily news. And when I was going through a recent story about the indictments, whether you believe, this is a real thing or not, that's a whole nother issue. But the fact is, the current counsel, Robert Mueller, has indicted several Russians for various crimes, whatever those are. I think, disrupting elections. I'm not sure what the actual specific charges are, but they have been indicted. And something sticks out is that these Russians use cryptocurrency exchange accounts along with PayPal, but you're going to see the focus probably go here because, again, this is the primary threat. It's not a threat to us, it's a threat to the power structure that's in place. And I'm not going to go through this entire story, but we'll just take a little quote here. In order to maintain their accounts at PayPal and elsewhere, including online cryptocurrency exchanges, defendants and their co-conspirators purchase and obtain false identification documents, including fake U.S. driver's licenses. One of the earliest uses of the most popular cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was for buying illegal goods and services online in an anonymous report of an anonymous part of the internet called the dark web. And CNBC reported in August that criminals are finding that Bitcoin is actually more traceable than originally thought, which is a fact. Less than 1% of Bitcoin transactions are involved in illicit activity, and anyone who knows anything about cryptocurrency surely wouldn't use Bitcoin to do illegal actions. And finally, in regards to our legislators, I want to put out a call to arms. You have to remember that these elected officials are elected officials, and they are representatives. So it can be as simple as calling your local senator or congressman and letting them know your thoughts on cryptocurrency. It can be as easy as starting a petition. But what you cannot be is complacent, because complacency, well, that doesn't get us very far. When they push back, you have to push a little harder. And if you really don't like the responses that you're getting from your local officials, try running for local office on a platform of being pro cryptocurrency, of being cryptocurrency friendly. Especially for those of you who are living in depressed communities, whether it be throughout the Rust Belt or the American Southwest. Many of these towns and many larger cities have experienced significant financial decay. We've seen factories move overseas. We've seen pensions pretty much eliminated. And I think cryptocurrency has the potential to reinvigorate a failing economy. Imagine the amount of capital that would come into a small town whether it be in upper New York State or Ohio, that hasn't seen much activity, and you said, hey, if you are starting a crypto business, we have these various tax breaks and opportunities for you. We are cryptocurrency friendly. And I think this has huge potential to infuse small, depressed communities with capital. And 30% or more of millennials either invest in cryptocurrency or are interested in cryptocurrency. And these would be your constituents. I don't think this is a partisan issue in the sense of being left right. I think it can fall on any side of the spectrum. But I would encourage you to contact your officials, get involved, try to get the word out there that this is not just used by criminals, that this is a system that empowers the people. And when you hear anything to the contrary, try to refute that. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in and listening to my rant. Let's keep the conversation going. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. How do you feel? Do you think we need more regulation? Are you contacting your elected officials? Do you yourself plan on running on a pro cryptocurrency platform? I think that would actually be really cool to have the first congressman, the first senator running for office on a pro cryptocurrency platform. It starts with just city council, something small. But let me know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Additionally, hit the bell for updates. I'm going to be launching my Dirty Deals series tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout on YouTube for tomorrow's first deal that I think has huge potential of 10x or more in the short term, and maybe in the long term, larger returns than that. So stay tuned. If you don't want to wait until tomorrow morning, be sure to follow me on Twitter, where I'm going to make the announcements in the evening on Blockbird cryptocurrency. So that's blockbird_.io. I will tweet my pick of the day, my daily dirty deal, and I will also give a brief analysis on that Twitter account. So if you don't want to wait and watch the video, also be sure just to follow me on Twitter and get it that way. But otherwise, I will talk to you guys later, and thank you for tuning in.